Welcome back everyone, episode 6 of the Land Rover Series 3 restoration. Right, this episode guys, what I'm hoping to achieve is axles off and hopefully engine out. I've ordered up an engine crane, so that'll make the job a bit easier. But what I'm doing now is I want to strip the engine down to kind of just its bare block really, getting ready for the lifting. We'll lift the engine and gearbox separately, and obviously the axles will be coming off the back as well and the front, and then we'll deal with the chassis as needs be. So yeah, we'll get started on this starter motor. Simple tools for this, a 5/8 socket and a 11/16 spanner. That's all we need for this guys, pretty simple. I'm using a long flex head ratchet and just a normal open-ended, or what you call it, just a normal spanner basically, 5/16 open and a ring end. Probably go with the ring end on this side. Get started. Again guys, I'll probably time lapse stuff on the likes of this. No point just watching me unbolt a load of nuts and bolts. So there's just 3 on this to take out. We've got one here that I'm working on, another one underneath. Sorry, another one underneath here, and another one at the back. So 3 of these. Now 2 of them are, one of them is on a studded nut. I'll show you now in a sec. Now the one at the back here is on a stud, so hopefully this nut will come off. Well, it doesn't really matter if the nut comes off with the stud, but hopefully the nut just comes off by itself. And then the one underneath is just a bolt straight through. You can see it down here, and that should be it. We should be able to pull it out then. So this one at the back. A little bit awkward to get at this one. So I'll time lapse this because it's going to take a while. Now, and the one at the bottom. And that should be us. You can see it's coming away already, guys. Probably should have left the one at the top in. So that's that guys, ready to lift off. You can see where an extra set of hands will come in handy. That's it. That's the starting motor out. We'll remove that. Now the big lead is just the lead that goes back to the battery on that. It goes straight back to the battery. No big deal there. We can see our flywheel through there. Let's see what type of condition it's in. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. A little bit of wear. We'll have a look at the teeth on the starting motor, see what they're like. Yeah, they're pretty good. So yeah, as I said, that starter motor, guys, we're going to save that. That's in good nick. As I said, I've heard this motor running, I've seen the starting motor in action, and it is plenty enough to start it. So yeah, happy with that. flywheel looks okay. And we take it off, because I'm going to change the clutch in this as well. So when we take it off, there's a few teeth I might grind back a little bit, just to have it nice for when everything goes back. Yeah, so that's that. Next we'll go at the alternator. Now the alternator, fairly handy. I'll bring the camera around for you. What we're going to remove here is this bolt here. It's a 5, what is it? I think it's a, it's not a 5/8, I think it's a half inch, yeah. So, yeah, half inch. We'll release this one here. There's one underneath, and another one under here, just under here. So I'll release them, and we'll get that alternator off, and that will be the engine somewhat tidied up a little bit. Sorry about all the moving here. So yeah, I'll go releasing them. I'll time lapse this again for you. Right guys, so that's that ready to go. And we can unplug this at the back. There's just a little arm that flops across, and you just plug it out. No big deal with that. Just this stubborn bolt at the bottom. Now, that's that out. It should be ready to pull. That's it. And that's that. That's the alternator out. Again, the alternator looks okay. We might be able to save it, polish it up a bit, and save that. Right guys, probably go at taking the exhaust off next. So the exhaust, I'll probably just take it off at the studs. So we'll see how that goes. And I think they're half inch on this as well. So half inch for the studs on the exhaust. Now again, as I said, with the likes of these, yeah, you can see it's just the bolt coming away. The stud is actually staying in the manifold in this case. Now again, now this is the opposite. The stud was moving on that, and now it's the nut has just come off. I probably should have took the exhaust off. It would have made it easy first. Would have made it easier to take out that alternator. It wasn't hard. It was just in an awkward space. Now you can see there I haven't got much room with the long handled ratchet. I'll switch to a short. Like that's. Now again, that's not great, so I'm going to pause it there guys. I'll switch out tools, and I have a better ratchet for that. Be back to you in 1 sec. Right guys, so that's actually a good example for you. Now you could see I had the Halfords Advanced ratchet. I'd done a review between ratchets before. As you can see, the Halfords tool set is after getting me out of a bit of bother on this, but with regards to the ratchets, you could see I was getting no movement because it was tied up in there, and with all the slop in this, it was basically just acting like that with no movement on the actual bolt itself. So I've switched out. I'm using the SATA 120 tooth, so you get more action within a little bit less movement. And this is a perfect example of it. Like, you can hear I'm getting movement there now. You can hear the teeth clicking, but with the Halfords I wasn't getting any action at all in that small space, because I think it's a, I don't know whether it's a 60 or an 80 tooth ratchet, but there's a lot of slop in it. And this is what I mean, like having good tools. Like this SATA ratchet, it's brilliant. It's the exact same as a gear wrench, and it's a fraction of the cost. So it's a SATA 120 XP. To be honest with you guys, I done a review on this, and I find that better than any snap-on tool. And that's a prime example right there. That got me out at where I know I probably could have got it out with the snap-on as well. I have a snap-on there. But as I said, this is my go-to ratchet now. I love it. The reason why I've just been using the Halfords is because they're all in the box and I can just lift the box in and out. But yeah, so that's all those bolts off. Lucky enough, the studs have stayed in there for us, so happy enough there. One or two of them are loose, but again, I can tighten them up with a vice grips when we go to reassemble everything. So that's the exhaust loose, that's off the engine, so when we go lifting the engine, that won't cause us any issues. So that's those few bits on this side. I'll probably leave the fuel pump on and the bits and pieces, the oil filter and that on the opposite side. We'll go probably now at taking the prop shafts out, getting ready for the axles to remove, and yeah, we'll take the prop shaft off the gearbox because we'll lift the gearbox first. So I'll show you now, guys, what we're doing. Yeah, so the prop shafts, we'll go at them next. Once we get the prop shaft off, we can go then at probably releasing the gearbox and getting the gearbox ready to lift out. What else will we remove off that? I don't know, I might take the gearbox off at the bell housing. Yeah, I might take it off at the bell housing, it might be easier. And we can lift it out that way. Yeah, so we'll set up and we'll go ready to get this prop shaft off, okay? I'll pause it there for a sec, guys. Right, guys, so let's get ready to take this prop shaft out. 4 bolts, handy enough. It is 9/16. I was pretty surprised that it was only a 9/16. Pretty light for a prop shaft. It's a Salisbury axle on this. It wasn't standard really on the 88-inch versions. It was more standard on the 109s. A viewer had actually, a subscriber commented on the last video, said you have a nice Salisbury axle there. So yeah, I never pointed it out to you. That's what we're dealing with. Slightly stronger than the normal Land Rover one, slightly bigger as well, but it is being modified for this. So I think at one point this was probably an off-roader. It's just a stronger axle, better in all ways really, stronger and better. So yeah, look, we'll go with these 4 bolts. They're literally 2 on the top and 2 underneath. Now it depends on what position it's in, obviously we can spin that around, but I'll go with taking these out. I'll time lapse them, and then we'll knock this prop shaft off this side, and we'll see about releasing it off the opposite side, okay? So bear with me, guys. Right, guys, so sorry, I knocked the camera there, and yeah, it was just literally me taking those 4 bolts out. So the 4 of them are out. You can see the size of them there. Not really too heavy. Thought they'd have been a bit meatier than that, to be honest. But that's released. That prop shaft should be ready to just drop out now. So we'll just give it a smack of the old rubber mallet. Now, that's that. That's how easy that is. Now, that's basically, once we get the bolts off the back of the axle and the suspension, that axle will be ready to roll away. We might jack up the back of the Land Rover and just roll the whole lot out. We'll see as we go. So that's the rear prop shaft out. I don't know whether to go at releasing the front. It's going to be a little bit more awkward. But yeah, bear with me guys. I'll have a little think and we'll be back with you in a sec at what we're going at next. Right guys, I suppose we'll take the front side of that prop shaft off. That's made it down to this housing, which is actually held by the handbrake. So I have the handbrake up. It basically holds that housing from moving around. So that's basically your handbrake. It just stops that drum from moving. So simple but effective. Probably one of the better handbrakes out there, to be honest. So we'll go with that. We'll start removing those. Now again, it's just 4 bolts in the same kind of pattern as the other side. So we've 2 on the top, and I might be able to spin these around. 2 on the bottom, and once they release, the whole prop shaft then should drop out. Yeah, so I'll go with those guys. I'll probably time lapse it again, and we'll get this out of the way. Now guys, before I start the time lapse, just I could probably use the impact gun, but with regards to anything around the engine and gearbox, you don't really want to be using the impact gun, just for the fact that you could shear something off with the power of it, and the jolt that it gets. So not ideal. That's why I'm just using hand tools. And again, it just takes a little bit extra time, that's all. But it's a safer option. So I'll time lapse this out now of me taking these 4 out for you, okay? Right guys, that's it. All of those 4 bolts are removed. That's the prop shaft ready to come out. There was one bolt gave me a bit of trouble. This one here, it rounded off just due to corrosion. So I had to get a 14mm socket, put it onto it, and I hit it on with a hammer. It gave me enough bite that I was actually able to release it. So that worked out handy. But if you are stuck like that, there is sockets you can get. They call them bolt bite sockets. They kind of eat into the socket and give you more grip. I should have actually picked up some. I had them in my Amazon basket, but I actually never made the purchase on them. I should have got them before I started this rebuild. I still might get some as time goes on. But yeah, that's ready to come out now. Basically it just comes out with it to wiggle. So that's it. That's what we're dealing with. Now there is grease nipples on that, but I'd say we might have to go replacing a few bits on that, to be honest, by the looks of it. So that'll be another video for another video. So what we'll at now is we'll remove the front prop shaft, and then that'll leave us that we're pretty much nearly ready to unbolt the gearbox and lift it out. So I'll pause it there, be back with you in a sec. Right, so guys, so what we'll do is we'll go at removing now the front prop shaft, and it's the same process, just 4 bolts around onto the transfer box. I'll show you these 4. So you've got 1, 2 and then 3, 4, just like the other side, and the same at the front, if I can get you a good look in there. Now you can see the four culprits there at the front onto the front axle. Now this is a little bit easier now. I'll show you now in a sec what we can do to get at them so we're not manoeuvring around. I can basically move the whole Land Rover now. It was a bit hard with the rear prop shaft connected, but if you can see, if I move it backwards and forwards, the prop shaft should move, and I'll be able to bring what I need up to the top all the time for removing, just for easiness sake. Now again, if you had a ramp and it was up on a ramp, it'd be handier. The wheels would be freewheeling and you could just move the whole lot around, but you can just push it up and down, move it backwards and forwards to get to the position that you want. So what I'll do is, it's the same process, guys. No point just watching me time lapse this again. I'll remove those 4 and off this side, and I'll remove them off the other side, and that way we'll have the prop shaft out. And what we'll probably go next at is then removing the whole gearbox off the bell housing and the gearbox mounts. Hopefully the engine crane will be here soon, so it'll be probably another day for me, but only a couple of seconds for you guys. So I'll remove that and I'll be back with you in a sec. Okay, right guys, so that's that. That's ready to lift out now, the front prop shaft. I meant to say to you, you could jack up either the back or the front as well if you wanted, just for freewheeling it, just so you can get the prop shaft around to an easier position to work on to get the bolts out. But that's that now, ready to pull out. I'll go pulling it out now, and we'll start thinking of what's next. So yeah, it's that front one was covered in oil. So I'd say we have a leak out of the engine somewhere, whether it's the oil pan leaking down onto it. I'll show you now. It was covered in oil. Now, unless it's grease, but I doubt it, I'd say it's oil coming out of the engine somewhere. Yeah, you can see, I'll try and get the camera in for you now. But we are going to replace all the seals in the engine. I'm not going down the road of stripping the engine out completely, unless I see something that's really bad. But it'll probably be, for this rebuild, just all the seals. We'll do the gasket around the oil pan. You can see it's pretty much leaking everywhere. The head gasket we'll do as well. Although saying that, after the washout, I know it hasn't been running, it doesn't look as bad, but we will replace all the gaskets, as I said. So yeah, what we'll do now, guys, is I suppose we'll start removing the bell housing. Like, everything is ready there now to come off, other than the handbrake cable. We'll probably go releasing that, but what we can do is we can start loosening up the bolts on the bell housing, and once they're off and we get that handbrake cable off, that's ready to be kind of pulled out. And the gearbox mounts, which are located just down there. So there's 2 bolts there, or else you can take the 1 bolt off here, and that releases the mountings. So let's go around the other side. You can see it better here. Yeah, so what we can do, we can actually just release the 1 bolt. It looks a bit crustier on the other side, to be honest, but if we release that, that will release the gearbox with the gearbox mount on. Now again, on this side, actually, sorry, there's 4 bolts on this side, and is there 4 on the other as well? Yeah, there is. There's 4 either side. So we have our options. We can release those 4, 2 and 2, or we can go and just release the 1 off the mount and lift the gearbox out with the mount. But again, we'll have to pull this off to clean it up anyway for reinstalling. So leave it with me, guys. I'll set the camera up and I'll think of a plan. Right, so I've decided it'd probably be easiest just to take the mount off with a single bolt. Now, little tip for you, you probably already all know this. There's no room to get a socket and a ratchet in there to get it me good leverage. So I'm left with the little short spanner I have. So to get a bit of extra leverage on that, what you get is just a ring-ended spanner. Slip it over the top, and then that'll give you extra leverage. So you're nearly doubling the size of your wrench or spanner to loosen it off to get the first one. And then you can just, once you have it loosened off, just go as normal. It's getting a bit tight there again, so what I did, basically, just to show you again, I had the ring end on that end, and then I just slipped the we're just slipping a ring end over that open end, and that will give you a good bit of leverage for extra leverage when it's needed. So I'll go take this out. I'll pause the video again, guys, and I'll be back with you once I have both sides of these removed. So it's the same either side, so no point in showing you the other side again as well. So I'll pause the video and then we'll go at the bell housing. Right guys, I just actually noticed something with the support bracket here. If you can see the angle that bolt is coming through at, so if we release both on either side, it's basically just going to kind of act like a wedge with the angle, so it won't leave us room to lift it straight up. It was only when I was taking it off I was looking at it and I said, yeah, it's not really leaving enough room. So there's another two bolts down here that's basically holding the bracket onto the chassis then. Well, the chassis or the arm underneath there for the gearbox. But yeah, I'm going to release these two as well, both sides, and that will then allow the whole bracket and everything to lift out. Yeah, so it'll be, really you could actually leave that one in that I took out, and we'll just release these two at the bottom, and that will release the bracket from the chassis. So yeah, it was only when I was looking, so just to point it out to you, okay? Right guys, so I've removed the two bolts out of the gearbox mount, both sides. I've taken the bell housing bolts out. You can see they're removed there. Some of them came out, the nuts just came off, and the others came out with the nut and the stud. So it's no big deal, we can run them back in, there's no problems there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drain the oil out of the gearbox before we go and lift it. Now we have the gearbox, the main gearbox and the transfer box. So what we're going to need to get the oil out of the main gearbox is a 21 mil socket will do the job. So 21 mil socket, and it's literally located. It's literally located, if you can see, just right here. So it's a 21 mil socket on that. We'll release that and then we'll get some oil out. That's it. The oil isn't bad in that. So whoever's been at that has been looking after it. Now there's all the sludge coming out now. The oil looks good out of the drain plug. That's not too bad, guys, happy enough with that. And there's another one on the transfer box side. Well, near enough to the transfer box. I'll show you over the far side that we have to release as well. Now, I'm losing light here. But yeah, there's the other one there. We'll see, can we get the two with the one? That's literally, we can just put a spanner in that. There is a special tool for it, but we can put a spanner in and release it. So that's it. And this is just threaded normal way, so no big deal with that one. I'll leave that for a sec till the oil drains out of the other one, and I'll release that and just get the rest of the oil out of that. This is, you can see it's at a lower point. So right guys, I'll pause the video there and I'll get this oil out and I'll be back to you in a sec, okay? Right guys, so the crane arrived. Very impressed with it for the price. I paid €200 guys for it off Irish Garage Equipment. It's a 2-ton crane, and for the price I wasn't expecting much, but I have to say very impressed with it. Very nicely made, all fairly heavy gauge steel, well painted. It seems to do the job. Can't complain for the price. Really impressed with that. I was kind of saying to myself, oh, the price of it, I'm not expecting to get much, but I'm actually very happy with that now. And I got an engine stand as well, and the same, very happy with that. The engine stand was €90, so for the crane and the stand, €290. I don't think you can go wrong at that. I'll probably sell these on then when I move on. Took about a day to be delivered, one full day, so it was really on the second day I got them. But yeah, Irish Garage Equipment, bit of a shout out for them. Really quality stuff. Impressed with that for the price. Yeah, so we'll keep moving guys. I took the handbrake off. Basically all it is a split pin and this bolt going through. Don't know whether you can see it there. So that bolt goes through and there was a split pin on the end of that. You can see the hole. You just release the split pin and that's actually threaded then. A 9mm spanner will get that off for you. You literally just thread it off and pull it through. It was actually, funny enough, again a shout out to Rusty Metal. He was actually doing his handbrake and I didn't realise that was threaded. I was trying to bash it out and he popped up a video there Thursday and I seen him taking it out. So yeah, threaded bolt through the handbrake, and then that's basically just released that, as you can see. So it's ready to lift. Now as you can see, we were left with a couple of studs. I couldn't get the studs out. I tried to get them out. I didn't go wild at them. I don't want to wreck the threads, but yeah, we're going to have to lift it out with a couple of the studs still on. So I'll show you how we're going to go about it. I don't want to wreck the threads. Like, if, you know, once the gearbox is off, we can remove the studs because there's a flat piece that you can grip. But unfortunately, there's 3 studs still in there that I can't get out. So what we're going to do, guys, basically, is kind of lift it slightly and then jiggle it out with a screwdriver. And I have a flat hammer as well, a kind of a flat clawed hammer, the old trusty E-swing. That'll do the job for a bit of leverage. Now you can use a pry bar or whatever, but you can see you have to be careful with this because it's cast aluminium, and if you go too wild at them they break. And you can see, sorry, I'll take the stand off again. You can see somebody has already had a go at it and damaged the casing. Now that's no big deal. Like, you don't really even need a gasket on this side, but yeah, the casing is damaged, as you can see, but it's pretty much stopped there. It's not cracked all the way through, so we're okay in that regard. But you do need to be careful. You don't want to go wild with a pry bar. So I'm just going to take my time, lift it up, jig it out a bit, drop it back down, jig it out a bit more, lift it, keep doing that until we actually can slide it back. So I'll get going at that, guys. You just want to hang on for a sec. Right, so I'm going to drop it down now. just a slight bit. So I'll release the pressure a bit. There's actually none on it. See, can I jig it out a bit more? No, it is coming away. Now, I think I'll jack it up a bit more now. So, just take a bit of pressure up and see, can we pull it back even more? Now you can see the engine is moving because of the rubber mounts as well. So, these 3 studs are literally 1, 2, 3 right in a row. So it's not the worst configuration really for getting it off. We'd be kind of goosed if it was down the bottom, I'd say. Now, as you see, it is a bit awkward when you're by yourself. It takes a bit of manoeuvring. Right, I'm gonna jack it up a bit more and try and prise it back some more. Just literally going around. As I said, guys, you'll want to be very careful doing this because it'll be costly if you screw it up. You don't want to put too much pressure on it. So I'll let it down another little bit and then I'll see, can I get some more forward on it. Sorry guys, this is taking a bit longer than I thought. Yeah, we're nearly there. Now, that's it. It's off. It is free. So is it free? No, there's one more. I see. It's just literally hanging on by a hair. Now, it's free. Now, I did order proper straps for this, but they're coming in another load. I forgot about them, to be honest. And there's a load bearing sling in it as well, or a balance beam for the end of the crane. For this such scenario, would be handy here, but I'll keep going. I basically have it free there now. It's actually catching on the other side on the handbrake. So I'll see, can we manoeuvre back this way? That's where an extra set of hands and another pair of eyes can come in handy. Now that's the exhaust. The exhaust is actually wedging as well, guys. So that's my fault. Being lazy. Right. guys, I'm actually going to have to take the exhaust off at this point, so I'll pause the video there. That's not going to come up over. I'll pause the video and I'll be back with you in a sec. Right, that's it. Gearbox out. Unfortunately, guys, I had a video of me actually lifting the gearbox out with the crane, but I never hit record and I've lost that footage. So this is it now in its current state. There's a lot of oil in there, so I'd say the rear main oil seal will have to be replaced as well. The clutch as well, I don't know whether you can see that. The clutch isn't really aligned right. I know it looks there on the camera like it's not bad, but when you're eyeballing it up, it's not good. So we'll take the clutch off and have a look, inspect the clutch, see what it's like. I think I'll be getting a new clutch anyway, so we'll have to realign that and do the rear main oil seal. While it's off, it's probably better off to do it anyway. The gearbox itself, obviously you can't see the gears yet, but there it is out. It looks in good condition now, in fairness. I haven't opened it up to have a look at the gears, but I went through the oil and you could see the oil coming out. The oil looked good, so I'm hoping it's going to be good. We may just need to replace a few seals in it. I'm not going down the road of a full rebuild on the gearbox if it doesn't need it. We'll just do the seals. Basically what I'm aiming for is just to get everything sealed up. No oil leaks. Will be the same with the rear hubs on the wheels. We'll redo the seals in those. The rear oil seal, the front oil seal on the axles, and we'll be replacing I have swivel links for the front axle as well. Now again, guys, I didn't get as much done as I thought I was going to get done. It's been a mad week in work. I was hoping to get the engine out and the axles off, but yeah, so that's where we are now at the moment, with the chassis, gearbox out. Axles will be coming out next along with the engine. We'll lift the engine first and then we'll pull the axles out actually. The gearbox, I'll have to get it made around, probably lift it into the house. The crane can only get you so far, and there's a good bit of weight in it. I might actually break it down. I might do a little video on that for you, just stripping it down completely into its individual sections. It'd probably be easier to bring it in anyway, like that. But guys, I'll have to leave it there for this week. As I said, didn't get as much done as what we hoped. The weather has changed, as you can see, raining here now. Just been a mad week in work as well. So I'll try and get something out for you again next Friday. I'm going to have to order a couple of rebuild kits, so I'll be waiting a while. But we'll find something to do. There's always something to do with this Land Rover. So yeah, that's it for today. We'll leave it there. And guys, thanks again to all the new subscribers and everyone that's liking the videos. It's kind of given me the motivation to keep going, to be honest with you. So again, thanks guys, and we'll see you again next week, okay?